Hi guys, sorry it's taken me such a long time to do this video. I've been a bit busy with certain things actually, to be honest. But as promised, I'm going to do a complete Blu Ray collection. I'm going to split this up probably in parts because it's going to take ages to do. Half of my collection is up here and the other half is actually downstairs in a little movie corner type area of the living room. So yeah, I won't waste any more time, so let's just get straight into it. Starting with numbers, obviously. My James Bond collection is going to be coming first, so that's under 007. Got all the James Bonds. The first one is Dr. No. These are obviously in order of when they were released. The second one is From Russia with Love. The third one is probably one of my favourite Bond films actually, is Goldfinger. Sean Connery is still my favourite James Bond. Daniel Craig is a close second though, to be honest. Fourth one, Thunderball. You Only Live Twice. Diamonds Are Forever. One that I didn't really like, to be honest, on Her Majesty's Secret Service. I didn't really the script was good, but I just didn't think Lazenby was that good of an actor, to be honest. Yeah, I've done that one. Roger Moore now. First one he did was Live and Let Die. Man with the Golden Gun. For Your Eyes Only. Moonraker. The Spy Who Loved Me. Octopussy. A View to a Kill. That's a good one, that actually, I think. Timothy Dalton, Living Daylights. License to Kill. GoldenEye. A really good film actually. Probably Pierce Brosnan's best as Bond. Tomorrow Never Dies. The World Is Not Enough. Thought that was cool. And Die Another Day. Again, I thought that was pants, to be honest. Casino Royale. And this quite nice slip box actually opens up and you've got a picture of Daniel Craig there. And it just says Casino Royale. That's that. Quantum of Solace, probably Daniel Craig's weakest. Skyfall, which I thought was a good film. And Spectre. Now, I really enjoyed this, to be honest. I know a lot of people don't really like that, but it was just, I really enjoyed it, to be honest. So yeah, now we're actually into the numbers. So starting off, we have Two Guns, Denzel Washington and Mark Wahlberg. Really like both those actors. Second is a Kevin Costner film, which I never really heard of, to be honest, until I watched it, which is of course 3 Days to Kill. Classic Western, which is Russell Crowe and Christian Bale in 3:10 to Yuma. Really enjoyed that. Sequel to Cloverfield, which is 10 Cloverfield Lane. Again, I went to the cinema to watch that and I really enjoyed it. I'm not really a big sci-fi fan, sci-fi horror type fan I should say, but I really enjoyed that. First, what you'd probably call classic film in my collection, which is 12 Angry Men, starring Henry Fonda, black and white on that. Next film, 12 Years a Slave, which is a really good film, but you really have to be in a sort of mood to watch it. I think first kind of Japanese or foreign film in my collection is 13 Assassins. Haven't really watched that. And we've got 21 and 22 Jump Street. And then 40-Year-Old Virgin. 47 Ronin with Keanu Reeves, and I've never actually watched that. Had it in the collection for some time but never actually watched it. Now this is a film that I absolutely love. Classic Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte in 48 Hours. Really, really funny film, and yeah, I've actually got the sequel, and it's only on DVD. I haven't really got a box for that. I just picked it up at the pound shop on a, on a one-off sort of thing. Next film, James Franco in 127 Hours. Really, really good film, but it's really fucking graphic, to be honest. Especially when he chops his arm off. It made me feel a bit sick, actually, to be honest. First kind of disaster film in my collection, and it is 2012 with a, I don't know if you can see that, it's a really nice lenticular slip box on that. Next up we have 2001 A Space Odyssey, and of course Zack Snyder's 300. That's the first shelf, and my arm is absolutely kidding me. Second shelf I have is 300 Rise of an Empire. Decent film-ish. A-Team remake with the kind of art cards as a slip box type thing, which is not really a bad film. Next film is Absolute Power with Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman and Ed Harris. Not the usual Clint Eastwood type film. He's more renowned for westerns, as you know, but still a good, decent film. Classic Jim Carrey in Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, and obviously When Nature Calls. Decent Ben Affleck film, The Accountant. The Adjustment Bureau. The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. First Arrow title in my collection, and I haven't actually sat down and watched this yet. Yeah, so I'll have to get around to that. The Adventures of Tintin. After Earth. Like Will Smith films, but this was kind of a bit naff. The trailers don't look naff, to be honest, but I didn't really like this film, to be fair. It was not one of Will Smith's best, to be honest. Okay. Age of Adeline. Actually bought this for my girlfriend, but we sat down and watched it and got about halfway through, and both actually fell asleep. I don't know if it was because we put it on too late, or whether it was because it was a bit of a bore fest, to be honest. But yeah, I'll have to sort of get back to watching that. Actually sit through it, to be honest. Yeah. Next up we have one of my kind of favourite Harrison Ford films, in Air Force One. Also stars Gary Oldman. Yeah, I think this is kind of one of the first Blu Ray releases. You can kind of tell with the old style packaging. Next up is the live action Alice in Wonderland, and the sequel, which is actually my girlfriend's, that I bought her for Christmas. Not this year, I think it was last year. But we still haven't got around to watching that yet, to be honest. Next is the first box set in my collection, actually, the Alfred Hitchcock collection, which contains all these classics. I think I've watched about 5 or 6 of these, to be honest. I still need to get around to watching the rest, but you can't really have a collection without Alfred Hitchcock films in it, to be honest. Yep, that's that. I just got this from the Pan shop. I think it was kind of like found footage film. Don't really know why I bought it, to be honest. I think it was just because it says, like it says at the top, from the producers of Pulp Fiction and The Hostel. Really like Pulp Fiction, so I thought for a quid you can't really go wrong. But it's a bit naff, to say the least. Next is Alien Covenant. I haven't actually got any of the Alien films apart from this one, to be honest. Something I'm going to have to invest in, I suppose. I quite enjoyed this, considering I don't like horror films. But yeah, it was quite interesting, to be honest. And I've never actually sat down properly and watched one of the Alien films, which is a bit of a shock to some people, I know. But yeah, I'm going to have to eventually pick up the rest, I think. So yeah, that's that. And we've got Alien vs Predator, which is that one, and Alien vs Predator Requiem. Bought them basically because I like Predator 1 and 2. Okay, the next one is Brad Pitt and I think that's Marion Cotillard. I think she's French. Anyway, in Allied, which is the story of the guy that marries a German spy, and he has to assassinate her, I think, basically, to be honest. Watched this at the cinema and really enjoyed it, to be honest. It was a really good film. Yeah, so that's that. And next we have Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2. Into the American films now, to be honest, which we've got quite a few. So yeah, the first one is George Clooney in The American Beauty, which is a really good film. Watched that years and years ago, and I haven't actually sat down and watched it since I repurchased it from DVD to Blu Ray. American Gangster, decent film with Denzel Washington. Again, I'm a big Denzel Washington fan. We've got American History X with Edward Norton and Edward Furlong, who was in Terminator 2. Decent film. American Hustle, Christian Bale. American Made. Now, me and my girlfriend actually missed this at the cinema, so I just it's one of my more recent purchases, actually, and it's a really good film. I found it quite funny in parts, to be fair. Yeah, I really did enjoy that. So yeah, I'll have to sort of sit down and watch that again at some point. Now we've got classics here: American Pie 1, American Pie 2, and American Pie The Wedding, and after that we've got American Reunion. Next, in this rather nice kind of black case, is American Psycho. Seems to have been waiting for ages to have a release here in the UK of this film. So I was really chuffed, to be fair, when it did get released, and I managed to pick it up. And it's, like I said, it's got this black case, which is really nice. Looks really nice on the shelf as well. In fact, it looks like a 4K, but it's not. So yeah, I really enjoyed this film. It's kind of comedic in parts, but yeah, it's really, really good. Next one is a Clint Eastwood film, American Sniper. I like Clint Eastwood as an actor, and he's a really good director as well. So, and this is a really good film. Yeah, that's that. A couple of comedies in Anchorman and Anchorman 2. The first sort of National Lampoon's film, Animal House. Bought this, I think it was in the 5 for 30 deal at HMV, and I was just looking for another title to go with it, and saw this. I thought, oh, that cover looks interesting. But I haven't actually sat down and watched it yet. I'm going to have to watch that at some point. And we have Animal Kingdom. I was just really taken by the sort of synopsis on the back, really, having not seen this. And it says at the top, Australian answer to Goodfellas. And I've actually seen Goodfellas, and that's really, really good. So I'm looking forward to some time checking that out. I've only got sort of, I would say probably a handful of horror films in my collection. And here's the first one, which is Annabelle. It was alright. I enjoyed it for what it was, really. But like I said, I'm not really a big horror fan. I bought that more for the missus, to be honest. And that's the end of the second shelf. Okay, now the third shelf is going to be quite difficult to get to, so I'm going to have to go onto the floor and sort of reel these off. Sorry about the lighting, to be fair. It's a bit shit, to be fair. Okay, so the third shelf, we have Ant-Man. After that is Apocalypto by Mel Gibson. Really, really enjoyed that. Classic, Apocalypse Now. Tom Hanks, Apollo 13. That's that. Underrated Western, in my opinion. Kind of Western. Appaloosa with Viggo Mortensen and Ed Harris. First Ben Affleck directed film, which is Argo in this extended edition box set. You've got the Blu Ray, and I think there's an art book or something in there. So yeah, there's that. I'll put that back in. Okay. Next we have Armageddon and Arrival. Watched this once and I really couldn't kind of get into it, so I'm going to have to watch it again at some point. And we have a Steven Spielberg film, which is Artificial Intelligence, black and white film in The Artist. Sorry guys, there you go. I'm just going to pan through these because I can't actually get them through. Then we have The Assassin, Assassin's Creed. Next one is Avatar. You can't really see the title on the spy on there. Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron. The Aviator, AWOL, The Babadook, Babel, Baby Driver, Back to the Future Trilogy, Backdraft, Bad Boys, The Bad Education Movie, Bad Lieutenant, Bad Mums, Bad Neighbours, Bad Teacher, The Bank Job, Barbed Wire, Basic Instinct, 1960s Batman film. Batman box set, which contains Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin. And we've got the Nolan trilogy, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises, classic films. And we've got Batman vs Superman, which got a lot of shit, to be honest, but I quite enjoyed it. Yeah, so just give me a second to get up off the floor and I'll show you the next lot. This shelf's actually taller, so I might do alright with this one. Okay, the lighting seems to be better up here as well. Animated Batman vs Two-Face. I actually got that for Christmas. It was a DVD that I got off someone. Not actually watched that. In fact, it's still in the wrapping, to be honest. I haven't actually got round to watching that, so I'll just put that down there. Right, then we've got Batman 5 animated Blu Ray collection, which includes Mystery of the Batwoman, Batman Bad Blood, Under the Red Hood, Gotham Knight, and Batman Year One. This is kind of my little animated Batman film section. Next we have Batman Assault on Arkham, a single edition of Batman Bad Blood, which you could do with actually getting rid of that, to be honest. Batman The Dark Knight Returns Part 1, Batman The Dark Knight Returns Part 2. Again, another one that I can actually do with getting rid of, because I've actually got that 5-pack, is Batman Gotham Knight, Batman The Killing Joke, and so you got the Lego Batman movie. The next one we've got is Lego Batman DC Superheroes Unite. And the next one, which is still in the cellophane, which is Batman Return of the Caped Crusader. And the final one of the animateds is Son of Batman. And we've got Battle Los Angeles, Battle Royale from Arrow Video, which is a classic film. I've got some cheese fest action in Baywatch with The Rock and Zac Efron. And we've got The Beatles, which is A Hard Day's Night, live action Beauty and the Beast, Beetlejuice, original Ben-Hur, and the remake. I got Being John Malkovich, the BFG, and I got another classic collection from Eddie Murphy, Beverly Hills Cop, 3 films in that one. Classic Tom Hanks in Big. Bit of Sammy Jack with the old kind of lenticular cover in Big Game. If I can get that back in. I'll just put that up there. Then we've got The Big Lebowski from the Coen Brothers, The Big Short. And we've got Big Trouble in Little China from Arrow again, yep. John Carpenter. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Shift that. And we've got Birdman. And Jean-Claude Van Damme in Black Eagle. Black Hawk Down. Johnny Depp in Black Mass. Black Swan by Darren Aronofsky. Then we've got Blade 1, 2 and 3. We've got Blade Runner, Mel Brooks comedy in Blazing Saddles, Sandler and Drew Barrymore in Blended. Quite enjoyed that actually. Blindside with Sandra Bullock, and we've got a bit of Statham cheese in the Blitz. DiCaprio, Jennifer Connelly and Jimon Honsu in Blood Diamond. Quite enjoyed that. Mel Gibson in Bloodfather. Blow. Blue is the Warmest Colour. And not actually watched that. Blue Valentine with Ryan Gosling. We've got Blues Brothers with that HMV exclusive slip. And we've got The Bodyguard with Kevin Costner. And another DiCaprio film, this time a Ridley Scott one in Body of Lies. Okay, so that's that shelf. Let me just find where this one went. Let's see if I can get it back in. Right, on to the next shelf. It's a bit tight, so I'm going to have to take one of these out, I think. And we've got, what's it, Denzel Washington in The Bone Collector. I'll just pop that up there for now. Oh, it's fucking killing me. Kurt Russell in Bone Tomahawk. Again, nice black case for that one. Paul Thomas Anderson film Boogie Nights. Denzel Washington in The Book of Eli. Sacha Baron Cohen, Borat. Next one in a HMV exclusive slip again is Tom Cruise in Born on the 4th of July. Jeffrey Rush, Emily Watson in The Book Thief. Jennifer Aniston and Gerard Butler in The Bounty Hunter. Then we've got the Bourne collection, the Bourne Identity, Bourne Supremacy, Bourne Ultimatum, Bourne Legacy with Jeremy Renner, and the latest one, which is Jason Bourne. And we've got a Richard Linklater flick next in Boyhood, which is a really, really good film. Really enjoyed that. Classic Ice Cube and Cuba Gooding Jr. in Boys in the Hood. Freedom with Mel Gibson in Braveheart, classic film. Audrey Hepburn and George Peppard in Breakfast at Tiffany's. And we've got another classic in The Breakfast Club. Paul Walker, Brick Mansions. Classic comedy Bridesmaids. Tom Hanks in Bridge of Spies. Another Sony Classics one, which is still in the cellophane to be fair. I don't know why I haven't unwrapped that. Bridge on the River Kwai. This is my girlfriend's film, and I bought her for Valentine's Day last year. Bridget Jones's Baby. Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal in Brokeback Mountain. Some Travolta cheese in Broken Arrow. And next we have Tom Hardy in Bronson. He really, really kills it in this film. It's so funny, some of the stuff. Jim Carrey in Bruce Almighty. And we've got another comedy Sacha Baron Cohen film, Bruno. Stallone film, which I quite enjoyed, to be honest. A lot of people don't like this film. I think it probably shouldn't have been done, but Bullet to the Head. And I've got Mark Wahlberg and Russell Crowe in Broken City. Classic Steve McQueen in Bullet. Tom Hanks in The Birds. And we've got Bradley Cooper in Burnt, where he plays a chef. Not actually watched that. Another classic, let me get this out, is Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid with Robert Redford. Next one is The Butler with Forrest Whitaker and Oprah Winfrey. I bought this from, it's not new, I bought it from a second hand shop called CEX for about £1, I think. basically because my girlfriend wanted to watch it, and we sat down and watched it the other night, and it's really, really good. Really enjoyed that. The next film, Cabin in the Woods. Next we've got Jennifer Aniston in Cake. Next is a Scorsese remake of Cape Fear. Really, really good film that. Next three are Marvel films. We have Captain America the First Avenger, Captain America the Winter Soldier in a nice 3D red slip, which is actually a quality film. And you can actually get two versions of the next one, which is Civil War. You can actually get a Captain America slip, or like I've got the Iron Man slip, which I think is still in the cellophane. I don't know why I've not sat down and watched that since the cinema. But yeah, really, really enjoyed that. I'm kind of a big, not a big, but more of an Iron Man fan than Captain America. So that's why I ended up getting the Captain America slip. I didn't end up getting the Captain America slip probably. Next film is Tom Hanks in Captain Phillips. Next film is a Brian De Palma film in it's Al Pacino in Carlito's Way, which is kind of the I suppose you could call it sequel to, I think, Scarface, which comes in this rather nice graffiti type slipcover that HMV put out a while ago. As you can see, it was £8. So. There you go. Next film is a classic with Casablanca, and we've got Casino, Tom Hanks in Castaway, DiCaprio and another Tom Hanks film, Catch Me If You Can, and we've got another Statham Cheese Fest in Chaos, and Neil Blomkamp's Chappie, which I quite enjoyed, to be honest. A lot of people sort of shit on that, but anyhow, I'll just see if I can put this other one back using one hand. There we go, that's that. Oh, I just need to sit down for a bit. I can actually sit down and do these now until I get to the bottom shelf. Then I'll have to. These are tight as well. Next one is Benicio del Toro in Shape. I'll just pop that down there for now. Next one we've got is Chef. And we've got Child's Play 1. Child's Play 2, which is still in the shrink wrap. And of course Child's Play 3, which again is still in the shrink wrap. I think this was a pound shop buy, to be honest. Jackie Chan in Chinese Zodiac. Never actually watched that. Then we've got classic Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Best sort of found footage film in my opinion, which is Chronicle. And we've got the Chronicles of Narnia trilogy, which is The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Classic film in Citizen Kane, which I bought this not long ago actually. I haven't actually sat down and watched it because it's still in the shrink wrap. Next is a kind of first foreign language film that I bought, is City of God. Clash of the Titans remake with Sam Worthington. The next one is kind of like a documentary on the class of '92 from Manchester United with, as you can see up there, David Beckham, Nicky Butt, Ryan Giggs, Gary Neville, Phil Neville and Paul Scholes. It's kind of just like a documentary about how they kind of came to be in the Manchester United Youth Academy. Yeah, that's worth a watch actually if you're a United fan, or a fan of football in general, to be honest. Next we've got classic Stallone in Cliffhanger. Next is a Clint Eastwood triple pack with Pale Rider, Outlaw Josie Wales and Unforgiven. Next is classic Kubrick in A Clockwork Orange. Another one of these Sony Classics collection, Close Encounters of the Kind. Tom Hanks, Halle Berry in Cloud Atlas, long ass film, but it's a decent watch if you can actually sit down and watch the whole thing. Cloverfield, another Arrow release, Pam Grier in Coffee or Kofi. Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx in Collateral. Collateral Beauty, which is actually quite a decent film. Schwarzenegger in Collateral Damage. I've got Columbiana, kind of a shoot 'em up type film. Classic Schwarzenegger in Commando. Nicolas Cage Cheese Fest, Con Air. Conan the Barbarian. Concussion, which is actually a football type film. I've got another horror film in The Conjuring. HMV, I think this is a HMV exclusive at the time because we couldn't get a release in the UK for ages, and it is Mel Gibson and Julia Roberts in Conspiracy Theory. Mark Wahlberg in Contraband. Gene Hackman in The Conversation, which is another one that I bought not so long ago. It's a really decent film, this, Copland. Look at the cast in that. It's really is a good, underrated film in my opinion. If you haven't seen it, go and check this out. It's really good. Next one is Michael Fassbender in The Counsellor. Didn't really think very much of that, to be honest. Another Denzel Washington film up next in Courage Under Fire. Indiana Jones meets James Bond in Cowboys and Aliens. Another Statham cheese fest. This one's really far-fetched, to be honest. In Crank 2. Crazy Stupid Love. Creed. Really good. But then again, I'm a big Rocky fan, and really enjoyed this. Really looking forward to Creed 2 when Ivan Drago's son comes back in that, obviously to try and get revenge on Rocky. So it's going to be a really decent anticipated film for 2018, that I think. Next one is Crimson Tide, again in that sort of old style Blu Ray case. You can always tell with that kind of silver banner that they've got going around the edge of the case there. Really good film that with Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman. Don't know if you can tell, but I'm actually a really big Denzel Washington fan. Another Sony Classics collection, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Another one is Brandon Lee in The Crow. This one, Cure for Wellness, we actually bought as kind of like a blind buy, to be honest. We were just looking for something to watch at the weekend one of the times, and decided to just give this a go because I think it was on sale at HMV at the time. It's not a bad film, but again, it's not my sort of cup of tea, but I did quite enjoy it, if that kind of makes sense. So there's that. Next we've got Curious Case of Benjamin Button. We've got Dallas Buyers Club. The Damned United, which is about Brian Clough when he took over at Leeds United for, I think it was about a week. Martin Sheen's really good in this. It's really underrated. Again, if you like football, I'll obviously give this a go because it's really quite a good film. Okay, the next one is somewhat of a classic, really. Kevin Costner in Dances with Wolves. I'll put that down to the next shelf. Obviously my pop vinyls. I've got this Star Wars box set here. I need to put it like that because obviously I can't fit it on this shelf. It takes up too much room in the S section, so I'll just keep that one separate, to be honest. I've got a couple of pop vinyls there, and this actually lights up, I think. I don't know if you can kind of see that there, but it kind of colour changes. If I put it back there, you might be able to see it better. Yep, then we've got Ray and K2SO on that shelf. Next shelf of Blu-rays is I've got Dante's Peak, which is kind of more like level now, and then we've got The Dark Tower, which I haven't actually watched that yet. A comedy with Steve Carell in Date Night. Disaster movie, another one from Roland Emmerich in it is The Day After Tomorrow. Another Stallone film in Daylight, really good that one. And we've got Dazed and Confused with another one of these HMV exclusive slip covers. Get that back in. And we've got Deadpool. Don't really need to say much about that, to be honest. Quality film. Robin Williams in Dead Poets Society. The First Death Race, another Statham cheese fest. Where are we? And we've got a really good film, I think from 2015, which is Deepwater Horizon. Really enjoyed that. Classic Robert De Niro in The Deer Hunter. Denzel Washington in Deja Vu. And we've got Chuck Norris in The Delta Force, really classic quality film that. Deliverance. The Departed. The Descendants. John Boyega in Detroit, which is about obviously the Detroit bombings. That I failed to see at the cinema. I wanted to see it, but didn't get a chance. It was a really good film, and I sat down and watched it for the first time the other week, I think, last week. It's a Tarantino film, Django Unchained. Really good film, really decent cast with Jamie Foxx, Christoph Waltz, DiCaprio. Then we've got all the Die Hards, Die Hard 1, Die Hard 2, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Die Hard 4.0, or is it, I think it's Live Free or Die Hard in America. And this crappy one. But I am somewhat of a completist, so I had to get it. It was only I think it was only a couple of quid. It's just a good day to Die Hard. Then we've got Divergent and Insurgent. Still need to pick up the third one in the trilogy. And Dirty Dancing Collector's Edition. And we've got the Dirty Harry box set with Clint Eastwood, which contains the Deadpool, Sudden Impact, Dirty Harry, Magnum Force and The Enforcer. Again, trying to get that back in. Right, got that back in now. Next one is Dirty Grandpa. Really enjoyed that at the cinema, actually thought it was quite funny. Next is another HMV exclusive, because we didn't get a UK release for this one for ages, which is Michael Douglas and Demi Moore in Disclosure. Neil Blomkamp's first film in District 9, decent film that. Another Marvel film, Benedict Cumberbatch in Doctor Strange. Pacino in Dog Day Afternoon. Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Scarlett Johansson in Don John. And we've got this special edition Donnie Darko from Arrow. Classic Doctor Strangelove, and no, Doctor Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Pound shop pickup, Dragon Blade. Heard decent things about this actually from somebody that I work with. Said it was kind of a decent film, so I thought for £1 I'd give it a go. As you can see, I haven't got around to actually giving it a go yet. Another one in the collection that I haven't got around to watching. Next one is Dread in 3D, Drive, The Drop, rest in peace James Gandolfini, and we've got Due Date, double pack of Dumb and Dumber and The Mask. Imported that from America because I couldn't find it anywhere, and I bought that basically for Dumb and Dumber. I couldn't find Dumb and Dumber anywhere on a single release in the UK. And we've got the sequel, which is Dumb and Dumber 2. Not great, but it's alright. I quite enjoyed that. Then we've got this rather kind of nice film book of Dunkirk. I suppose you'd call it a digibook, really. It's the only digibook that I've actually got in the collection. But they were doing a kind of like special edition of it at, I think it was one of the supermarkets that I picked it up from. I think the just the standard Blu Ray was about 20 quid, so I've decided to pick that up. It's only a couple of quid extra, so yeah. The next one is Emma Stone in Easy A. I do like Emma Stone actually. She's really quite attractive, to be fair. So, and that's a decent comedy. Right, next one is kind of an underrated Mel Gibson film in my opinion, which is Edge of Darkness. The next one I've put under the E's because a lot of people have kind of got, where do I put it? Do I put it in the L section or the E section? Personally, I'd stick it with the E's. It's Edge of Tomorrow. Next, Edward Scissorhands with Johnny Depp. And I think, yeah, this is the final of the Blomkamp 3, which is Elysium. Right, let's just move the chair back a bit. Next one is Empire of the Sun. We've got End of Watch, Ender's Game, and we've got Enemy, Enemy of the State, Enter the Dragon, classic. Sean Connery and Catherine Zeta-Jones in Entrapment. We've got Epic, which is an animated film, quite good. Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And we've got Clint Eastwood in Escape from Alcatraz. Stallone and Schwarzenegger in Escape Plan. Next is another classic, E.T. Everest, Ex Machina, Steven Seagal in Exit Wounds. Then we've got The Expendables 1, 2 and 3. Just cheesy action flicks, but I really like the cast, so hey ho. Denzel Washington, The Equalizer. And we've got John Travolta and Nicolas Cage in Face Off. Michael Douglas in Falling Down. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. The crappy kind of remake of Fantastic Four. And I've got Fargo by the Coen brothers, and the next 8 films are the Fast and Furious collection. So we've got Fast and Furious, 2 Fast and Furious, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, Fast and Furious, Fast and Furious 5, Fast and Furious 6, Fast and Furious 7, R.I.P. Paul Walker, and the latest one, Fast and Furious 8. Next is a good film about cancer. If you can have a good film about cancer, but that's the 4.5 stars. A Few Good Men, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner. The next 2 are 50 Shades of Grey double pack. These aren't actually mine, I bought them for my girlfriend. Yeah, it's 50 Shades of Grey and 50 Shades Darker. So, put them back in. Fight Club, The Fighter, Fish Called Wanda, really good John Cleese comedy. Then we've got the Spaghetti Western trilogy, which is A Fistful of Dollars, for a few dollars more, and The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. Another Denzel Washington film, In Flight, Will Smith and Margot Robbie in Focus, classic Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump, yeah, Foxcatcher, and an Arrow film in Foxy Brown. Right, last shelf, and like I said, this video is going to be probably in 2 parts, so I'll just finish these, and then the other half of the Blu-ray collection will come up shortly. So if I can get this to focus, we've got Friends with Benefits, The Fugitive, Full Metal Jacket, Fury, The Game, Gangs of New York, Gangster Squad, Garden State, Get Carter, which is the Michael Caine one, and we've got Get Him to the Greek, Get Out, Ghostbusters, Ghost in the Shell, The Gift, Girl on the Train, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and we've got the Godfather trilogy, the 2 Godzilla films, the original and the remake, Gone Baby Gone, Gone Girl, Gone with the Wind, Good Morning Vietnam, Good Will Hunting, Goodfellas, The Goonies, Goosebumps, Wes Anderson's Grand Budapest Hotel, yeah, Gran Torino, Gravity, The Great Escape, The Great Gatsby, The Great Wall, Gremlins, The Green Mile, Green Zone, The Grey, Grimsby, Grown Ups. That one is Guardians of the Galaxy, The Guest, The Gunman, and Hacksaw Ridge. Oh. Okay, so hope you enjoyed this this video. If you stayed with me for the whole nearly an hour, thank you very much. Like I said, if you can give me a like and a subscribe to the channel, that would be great. And I'll hopefully see you soon with the second part of the Blu-ray collection video. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Alright, bye.